Is Besa here? There she
Hey,
go. What's
Miss
happening?
How are
Besa.
you guys?
Good, good. What's up with you?
Good. I'm good. I'm healthy. No COVID, so I still got a job.
Man,
You're not getting no complaints out of me right now.
you doing better than most. Doing better than most. Hey, Besa, just for quick before we jump into everything, you know what I'm saying? Of course, you're a very big personality in this city. But there, we do have an audience here who might not be aware of you. Maybe you can tell everybody about Besa.
Well, Besa is a girl from Seattle. I grew up in the CD, and like most Black people, eventually my whole family got moved out south. Like, I think when I really think about it, I'm actually my only blood relative that now lives back in Seattle, and I just moved back to Seattle in February. Um, I am the night host on KUBE 933. KUBE is my first radio job ever. I started from the ground up in the company as a street tamer, moved my way into the office. And then once the opportunity came for me to be on the radio, I was like, yo, what do I need to do to get on KUBE? Because I grew up listening to the station and it was just like, you know what? I'm here. I might as well go for it. So now I do my night show. And one thing that I've really always wanted to do is find a way to reconnect KUBE to the community because everyone's like, KUBE doesn't support the community. KUBE doesn't support the community. And it's like, okay, well, what can we do? So doing this town hall is like one way that I think that we are kind of able to re-enter ourselves into the community and kind of start doing positive things. But otherwise, yo, I'm just a girl from Seattle that's trying to make it, y'all.
All right, now, and when you talk about community and wanted to bridge a gap between Cube and community, old school Seattle people like me, we go all the way back with Cube 93, back with
Yeah.
Ackerley, back to Chet Buchanan. You know what I'm saying? The Chet Buchanan days and the Eric Powers days and this and that. And it's always kind of been like this. It ain't quite all been there. I'll just leave it at that. And so it's really good to see that somebody like yourself is in the mix, you know what I'm saying, who is saying that. And I found this here and I want to kind of play it because this isn't something that you're just saying right now with everything that's going on in the streets. This is actually something that you've been saying for a while.
Yeah.
Now you've been here for a little while now. Where do you see your career going and why? In Seattle.
In Seattle, I definitely want a weekday daytime spot for my career, but I kind of just want to be like for one, I want to be myself. I don't ever want to, I don't know, I've never really been good at going into spaces that are already there. I'm pretty good at just creating my own little gap, if you will.
Right.
And so I definitely want to help connect KUBE 93.3 back to the community of color out here. In ways that are beyond music. You know what I mean? Like, music is great. Like, don't get me wrong. The hip-hop community needs their attention also, but we still need to have these conversations with the Black communities. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Charlamagne the God does it, so why can't we?
Right. I mean, I think you sound like a little advocate to me right now. I'm loving hearing that.
I don't know.
I'm loving what I'm hearing. I mean, the way you said it, Charlamagne's doing it. Why can't we do it? I think right now is a time that they need a spokesperson, and I'm thinking you lean towards that.
Maybe. I mean, I don't really like labels like that because I feel like when you, I don't know, maybe this is just me, but sometimes I feel like when you put the label, I'm a spokesperson for this, like I don't know, like there's this extra weight that's put on you.
Gotcha.
And I just like to do what makes sense for me and what feels natural for me, and I like to just say what freely comes out, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I'm not trying to say I'm just doing things all off the whim, but if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel right.
Look at you. I mean, like I said, it's good to hear that kind of voice come out of Cube because it, at least for a long time, we ain't really hear it like that, saying that or really, I think the intentions have been there, but this gap, this bridge has never kind of been built, and so it's good to see. It's unfortunate that it's taken what's happening right now. You know what I'm saying? For maybe the higher ups to kind of understand that these are communications and relationships that need to be happening. You got a massive platform over there at iHeart, and it's just real life issues.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I hopefully this won't be the last thing, because like you said, I don't want for there to be another situation of, oh, CUBE doesn't do anything for community and we only want to do something when, well, it looks good for us. You know what I mean? I definitely want to find a way to make this be continuous.
So maybe you can tell everybody. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Trey.
No, I just was going to say that that's awesome. And I also like that you were saying it's not just about music, right? It's also about utilizing that platform for things that are really just important to community. So I just wanted to say shout out to you for that, because I appreciate that. A lot of the times people think radio is synonymous with music. And, you know, CUBE has done a really great job cementing itself kind of in the music space. But I think you're so right in terms of really utilizing it to share what the talent we have here is, you know, what their life story is and their background. So getting a little bit outside of it. I love that.
Thank you.
So Besa, tell us, Thursday is the big town hall. I see it's you and a lot of other big timers up there talking about what's going on in the city. Maybe you can tell everybody what's happening.
Yeah, so this Thursday, CUBE, Elysian, Converge Media, and what is it? South Seattle Emerald. We're all putting together a historic town hall. As I kind of said in the commercial, it's time for us to sit down and have a conversation. There's just like legit, if you ask me, there's way too much going on, way too much miscommunication. And by one, having community leaders like, say, White King will be on there, Nikita Oliver will be there, Omari's gonna pop in, Marcus Green is co-hosting it with me, but we also have Gurmai Zahalai. Like, you know, he's the only Black councilman that we have out here in Seattle. And then on top of that, we will have Mayor Jenny Durkin and her team. And I think that is a huge thing, because for me, it's what you say and what you write down. You know, like one of the things that I said when I was on air talking about CHOP, I was like, this is great, but what policies do you guys want? Because right now you're just kind of tearing up the city. So where are we going with this? And for me, with the mayor saying things like, oh, I'm going to put 100 million into the Black community, it's like, okay, so I want to see this in writing. I want to see who's going to help you do this. I want to see what your timeline is. And without asking those questions, how are you ever going to hold anyone accountable? So I think this is the perfect time for everyone to make sure they're submitting their questions, because I think it's important for people to know this is not going to be just a thing of me asking my questions. Like, I want your questions too. I want to know what you want to know, what the mayor is going to do for the Black community and what community leaders are currently doing or have done.
Right. And actually, we're going to have a form probably this afternoon. So people will be able to go to our website where we converge. Also, we'll tweet it out. And so people will be able to submit questions there. I think what makes Thursday very unique, and even with the word historic, is the fact that you hear the mayor communicate through her platforms and her kind of way. You hear King County Equity Now through their way, Africa Town through their way, and even, you know, a council member like Zahalai through his way. This is the first time that everybody is going to be on one platform. And so this is really to do a service for the general public, for the citizen stakeholders of the Emerald City, because they'll really get to be able to hear people's ideas and their vision for the future, you know, all in one setup. You sit there for like 2 or 3 hours, you hear everything the mayor's saying, you hear everything, you know, some of these community people are saying. You're able to kind of like, you know, make up your own mind from there, because it's not disjointed like the way that it is right now. Are you any inhibitions about hosting? Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, being in the middle of anything here is a hot seat, man. It's hot out here.
What I will say is, with the whole CHOP thing, and every once in a while I would give my true honest thoughts on air, and then I would get little DMs and comments, and I was like, oh, sorry,
you better know about it.
Honestly, it just kind of really is what it is. I think I'm at a point in my life where it's like, look, I'm either going to put myself out there and ask these questions for the community, or I'm just going to sit here and continuously be quiet and talk crap to my friends. Like, I could sit here and be like, oh, why didn't the news reporter ask that? Or I could ask it my damn self.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of that, let's get your opinion on a few things. So we've got a clip here.
You want my thoughts?
Yeah, you know, we got a clip here from King 5. Actually, they did some protest coverage over the weekend, and so we'll play this. And I just want to get your thoughts on things.
And we're outside of City Hall because police say that these demonstrators, they wound in and around the city. They were in the Capitol Hill neighborhood, but this is some of the damage outside of City Hall. A lot of it we cannot show you because of profane language. But like I said, they went all over the city. They were breaking windows, spray painting buildings, things like that. Here's actually video from last night's clash with police that was sent to us. According to a social media post about the protest, this was in solidarity with other cities protesting for racial justice. Now, on Capitol Hill, the video you're looking at, demonstrators there created a barrier between them and police by lighting dumpsters on fire. Police say the Seattle Fire Department was called in to extinguish that fire. Now, in this video, you can see the police approaching the group. Police say they issued a dispersal order. They used blast balls to move the crowd, but in this video, you can really see both groups are aggressively shoving each other. Protesters are throwing things and lighting off fireworks. Eventually, the crowd broke up. What police are telling us is that 10 people were arrested and that there was some damage, as I mentioned, throughout the different neighborhoods.
All right. So the types of protests could continue, up on Capitol Hill. A big discussion, at least people in our community that I talk to, the Black community, is, are the protests in Seattle still representative of the value of Black lives? Is it about Black lives mattering, or is it about something else? Is the message still strong, or has it been co-opted?
I feel like the problem is, and this is just my opinion as someone in media, the media only covers the bad stuff. When King County Equity is doing a protest, they're not really covering that to where you're seeing all of these people gathering together, having positive conversations and making positive plans. But what they do show is people screaming F the police. They show all the big smoke. They show all of the fights. They show the riots, to where, in my opinion, when people think protest, they're not thinking a group of people that's trying to make a difference. They're thinking a group of people that's in their area that's about to break windows, and now Whole Foods is going to close early. I just feel like I don't feel like the message is totally lost, but I can see how for some people that don't watch both sides, it could potentially be lost for them.
Yeah, well, I can say this is that Converge is the only video platform we've covered. Clearly people are seeing covered down there in the front line, but we've covered every single peaceful protest. On the other side of the protest, we just want to live. All the protests there on Jackson, all the protests there on Othello, So if anybody is looking for coverage on both sides, please stay tuned here to Converge, because we give you, we give you some of everything. We give you a whole lot of that funk too. But
Sure.
It's after Bobby Steele's getting snatched up down there, you know what I'm saying? That's a whole other story. All right, so let's move on here. Breonna Taylor, clearly with that decision coming out, and it looks like that might get funky as well. They're talking about how the indictment was upside down and everything else. But as a Black woman, what are some of your thoughts about this, about Breonna Taylor and some of the fallout around it?
I think as a Black woman, one, with the whole Breonna Taylor thing, I made some notes. I feel like the case has reminded me that we have a lot of jacked up laws that need to be changed. Like, I don't think anyone was really thinking about no-knock warrants before then, or at least not on this big of a scale. I also learned that cops can get indicted for missing their target. But on the other end, it kind of made me think about people that might be in a situation like Breonna Taylor was. It's unfortunate when you are basically hanging around the wrong people, and then you end up being the one that gets the worst of it, because she should still be here. She was working at a hospital, minding her own business. She was doing what she was supposed to do. And then it seemed like her past that she was moving away from kind of came back to bite her. And as much as I blame the police, I blame him for putting her in that situation to where they could even find her.
Mm-hmm. All right. Interesting perspective there. And before we let you go, you're always talking about finding a peaceful place in your zen and your wusa. Do you got any tips for people as far as, especially these times right now, man? It's a lot going on.
Personally, I meditate daily. So when I wake up in the morning, I will lay in bed and I'll think about how I want my day to be. I visualize the vibes that I want. Maybe it's a day where I just want to be relaxed. Maybe it's a day where I just want to be extremely productive. So I just kind of like visualize that, and even will visualize conversations. I don't know if anyone has ever gone to a meeting and then all of a sudden you're super anxious and then the meeting might not go the way that you want it to, but sometimes if you visualize the meeting as going smooth, everyone having a conversation, that's typically what you end up asking the universe for, if you will. I say protect your space, protect your energy, log off of social media from time to time, mind your business, work out. And for me, in terms of like staying focused on my goals, I've been rereading Year of Yes by Shonda Rhimes. Just because I do suffer really bad from anxiety. So sometimes I just won't do something that will be good for me and good for taking me to another level, just because my anxieties are like, no, I'm nervous. I don't want to do this. So reading a book like Year of Yes, where even someone on the level of a Shonda Rhimes is like, oh my God, I was nervous to talk to Oprah. It kind of makes it to where my anxieties are not that major.
All right, good stuff. And now Town Hall is Thursday from 6 to 9.
Yep.
And you know, of course, everybody, wherever you're watching this show right now, you'll be able to watch that Town Hall. But where else can people catch the Town Hall, Besa?
It will be on KUBE socials. It will be on Elysian socials. Obviously Converge socials. I would say it'll be on mine, but I don't think I'll be able to like live stream on my socials while I'm doing that. I'm just saying.
All right. Oh, and when can people catch you on air on KUBE?
7 p.m. to midnight, Monday through Saturday.
You be every playing, so you know I'm down south right now, and every down south radio station, it's a slow jam show. Slow jams with the big O.
But see, it's unfortunate that out here that's not really the kind of music that the average person listens to. Like people like, I don't know why, but KZOK, which is a rock station, does extremely well in Seattle, along with like this classical station. So it's just kind of one of those things where it's like Seattle doesn't really do well with R&B, but I love it for R&B.
All right, Besa, well, we love you too. Thanks for taking some time with us, and look forward to linking back up with you Thursday at 6 o'clock for the historic Town Hall.
Yes,
thanks, Besa.
Bye.
All right, we're gonna take a break right now. When we come back, we got some clips from Willard Jimerson Jr. Willard Jimerson Jr. sat down with Seattle Police Chief Adrian Diaz. The gist of the conversation on Good Game Alert, which is airing tonight at 7 o'clock, was to put a focus on the uptick in gun violence that's occurring in our community in Seattle and South King County. We're going to take a short break. You're watching the Morning Update Show.